everybody, it's Sharon with Threshold Homestead, and I am feeling concerned today. I guess I'll just say that. I know that seems to be the discussion lately of a lot of YouTube channels that I'm watching or have watched in the past. There's some genuinely concerned people, and I think there are some people who are just hopping on the train ride, I guess, of what everybody's talking about. And, I try to be positive most of the time. I'm usually a happy-go-lucky person. I get stressed just like anybody else, but I have a tendency to come out to my garden when I'm stressed, and this is a sort of therapy for me. And I know for a lot of people it is, but it also provides a meal here and there for our family and my friends. If I have an abundance, I share. And yes, this garden is small, but God has blessed it. And when He blesses something that you're involved in or that is a part of your life, you're supposed to share that blessing with other people who are less fortunate. But I've just gotten even more concerned with of late everybody who seems to be challenged by what's going on in the world, and there's certainly enough that has gone on the last few years to feel challenged, and when people feel challenged, they automatically, you can't help it, it's an emotion, you get defensive. But I've learned over the years that when I need to be defended, I allow God to defend me, and He always has. Never has He failed me. Now, does that mean that I haven't had any hardships or haven't had to go through trials that I had to face? No, it absolutely does not. I've had sicknesses. I experienced a divorce after 28 years of marriage. I lost, my part in a farm that I had helped to build. But that is just what happened. It didn't change my ability to be the person that I am and just not give up. When faced with challenges, you may get put down for a little while, especially with illnesses. If your body needs rest, you have to rest. When you're facing a trial of life and you just need to take a moment and get some respite care, then you do that. And then you always have to remember, I know a lot of people have battles with depression, but those times when you feel like, I just need to give up for a minute here. I need to just not think about anything. I need to just zone out. And, those are times that, others may perceive you as just being depressed, and not necessarily. All of that time, those times can feel like very depressing times, but I think at heart, for me, those times have been times when I just needed to reboot, have time to be able to have the energy to reboot. You see we had a storm several days ago, and it blew these squash vines all over the place. And I came down to look at them, and, I fixed the ones that I could. There were some that were broken, but it didn't mean that plant's life was over. So when you face trials or you have a depressing time, it doesn't mean your life is over. It just means it's about to start again. You just need to rest, but you need to have the mindset of, okay, I'm going to rest. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm not going to deal with anything until I can. And when you can, then you get up and you move forward with the rest of your life. And I'm not talking about someone who's suffered mental illness their whole life. I'm talking about when you face trials that just knock the wind out of you. There are certainly people with mental illness that, for some reason, they struggle with that their whole life. And that is not what I'm talking about here. Now, one thing I want to have an opinion about today, and I certainly do have opinions. I don't always voice my opinions unless you ask me. I'm that kind of person that I have had to learn. If someone says, well, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that, I have to preface what I think or what I'm about to say with the phrase, do you want me to tell you the truth of how I feel, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? That's just the simple fact of it. So I certainly have opinions about what's going on in the world, and for the most part I keep them to myself, but I'm just about to burst to give my opinion on something that is going on and I'm not happy about. And you can take it with a grain of salt. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to hear it. This is my channel, and I'm certainly going to say how I feel, because I've really thought long and hard about it. What's going on in this world is definitely real. It's not something that people are conspiring to make other people believe is going on. There are factual things that are going on in this world that should not be going on, and not just, you know, the far-fetched world, the things that affect us here immediately in the United States of America that should not be happening. So just because someone might get offended isn't a reason for us to say things are not happening. How do you feel about that? Well, I always think about the baseball analogy. My kids played ball, local ball, high school ball. But when they were young, you know, they played sports. They were just teeny tiny kids, and at the end of the season, you know, everybody had a good time, and the parents had a good time, and, you know, there was good fellowship. But at the end of the season, what they call awards day, I remember my first experience with it. I saw tons of trophies. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm looking around at how many people are there, and I'm thinking, why so many trophies? Because I'm thinking awards day. You know, the top 4 or 5 people are going to get trophies. No, every kid that signed up for ball got a trophy. Of course, there were some specialized trophies, coach's pick or whatever, but every kid that left that ball field got a trophy. And, you know, that's great. My children got a trophy, but were they the best that they could have been every opportunity? Probably not. Were there some kids on the team who gave it 100% when mine probably gave it 75%? Yes. Were there times that my children gave 100% and the other kids only gave 50%? Absolutely. I'm saying that not to say that it was wrong for the association to give every child a trophy. I'm not. I'm just saying, had it been just certain ones, the best of the best to get trophies, some of those kids would have gone home feeling less than, feeling offended that they didn't get a trophy. What conversation do you think would have happened on the way home? I'm sure it could have been different for everybody, because depending on your parenting style, you're going to handle that situation differently. But when I was growing up, I was told if I didn't get straight A's, that I didn't work hard enough to get straight A's. I didn't play sports. I wasn't able to. Same thing, awards day in schools. You know, if your child's upset at the end of the year that they didn't make straight A's, what would your parent have told you versus what you would have told your child? That child should have been told, work harder next year, because that's what I was told, and I did. It was ultimately my choice to work harder. There are not enough people handling correctly the fallout from being offended. And that's just my opinion. The truth of the matter is, if something's not going your way and you didn't play the part 100%, that responsibility falls on you. If you did everything within your power to make things happen and they didn't happen, then it just wasn't meant to be. Find something different to put your energy into that makes you happy and not frustrated. Because not all of us are ball players. Not all of us are scientists. Not all of us are great cooks. But we are all good, exceptional at some things. We just have to have that opportunity to find what we were made for. And it just makes the whole world go around. I look around and I see all the people or the businesses that can't find people to work for them. Why? I don't know. I don't know how we've gotten to this point of, and I know some companies don't appreciate their employees, and so those employees quit. But there are people who are wonderful customer service people. That's what they were created for, and they do that job incredibly. But no one ever told them, oh, you might make a great customer service person, or you might make a good librarian, or, help this next generation find what they were created for. Because we all are not scientists. We all are not doctors. We all are not lawyers. We all cannot be. But we can be what we were created to be. And it might take us several years, or 30 or 40 years, to find out what we were created for. But certainly strive to do so. Now, there's bees in this garden area. When a doctor sits you down and they tell you have an illness, what happens next? Do they say, oh, you have this illness, but you don't have to do anything? No. They have a protocol. They have a set of lists just for your particular illness that they will follow and offer to you. But they're not going to just say, oh, you have this illness, we don't need to do anything, unless it's an illness that isn't going to affect your livelihood. There's always a plan of action, no matter what. That plan of action will either work or it won't. And if it doesn't work, then you try something else. That's just the way of life. We all need to face the fact that our way of life has changed, and it isn't all good or all bad. But the balance is leaning toward way far to the unbalancing, that the bad is overpowering the good. And we need to all do our part to fix that. This life has gotten broken. Just like all illnesses are different for everybody, the remedies to fix every problem for different people is different. Our circumstances are different, so the plan of action for different people is going to be different. We all need to start making better choices, not just that benefit us, but choices that benefit our children, our parents, this next generation, and the generations to come. For me, that means getting back to basics. And that's what I do here, in my garden. I'm just trying to get back to basics. We all need to get more in tune with how God instituted for man and woman to take care of this earth. Not just the earth, but the animals and our families. I believe that's where this generation, past generations, have gone wrong. We have forgotten, or we're not understanding how needed it is for us to follow the plan of God for our lives. We've been told, oh, we don't need God. We can figure this out ourselves. We all need to find our way back to take care of this earth. Now, I've been asked before, what can you do with your small little garden to change the world? It's just little. I'm a firm believer in what God gives us to watch over. That is little. If we take care of it, it will become bigger. I've seen that happen in my own life. If we can't take care of what is little, we certainly cannot take care of what is big. So start little. Get a bucket, plant something, and make a difference. Because guys, I'm telling you, the number of processing plants in this country that have been destroyed in the last couple of years is upwards over, near or over 100. That's food that gets to your grocery store. The soil that has been contaminated on a large scale didn't just happen by mistake. These illnesses that are so suddenly plaguing our country, other countries, they didn't just happen. That is not the way of God. I do not believe so. We have to face the facts. We have to be willing to be offended by the truth. Because the truth, if we seek it, will set us free. That's my take on it. May God bless you all, because we all need it.